everybody, it is Ashley Fields with Yoderus, and this is going to be part one. This is going to be a two-part video. I wanted to come live and show you the base coating on this windmill because I am doing something different today than what I did in our sample photo. So I wanted to show you guys what that looks like, how we're going to achieve a galvanized look. Okay, let me show you the sample. So here's the sample that I did, and I just used regular gray. However, on this one, I actually am using a silver, and I'm almost making that the windmill look like it's got galvanized metal on it. And so I wanted to go ahead and do this live so that you guys can see how it is that I'm achieving this look. All right, so I started with one coat of white on my windmill, and so far I only have my teal at the bottom, and I have a couple of the slats on my windmill done. I am going to be using, it is Decor Outdoor Living, Americana Decor Outdoor Living, and this is a silver color, okay? This silver is for interior and exterior. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna shake this up a little bit, start getting this ready. Like I said, I really just chose to do this because I like the look of almost wanting this to look like it's metal, right? I love a metal look, and so I really like the galvanized kind of look as well. So again, this is just silver. You can get this on Amazon. I happened to get this at Hobby Lobby, and it was $8. And you can use these inside or outside. So I'm gonna just use what I have here in my cap, okay? I'm using just a regular mop brush. This is a Cotman mop brush, a 5/8. And I'm just kind of getting some paint inside of that mop brush right now. I'm gonna just put it down just like on my sample that is in my photos. Just where I put all that regular gray is where I'm putting silver. I'm just kind of really switching out the gray color for this silver color. Now, this is exactly why I am going to be teaching this look. Can you guys see how it has brush strokes in it? Whenever you're using metallics, it is very, very difficult to get rid of those brush strokes. So I went ahead and used a mop brush to put this down, and now I'm going to take a chip brush, okay? The chip brush is completely dry, it has no paint in it. All I'm gonna do is just kind of dab on top of where I just painted. Just dabbing up, straight up and down, very light. I'm not using the brush to do any strokes, just dabbing, that's it. We're just dabbing to get that texture and get those brush strokes out of there. And that's kind of what I'm gonna do on all of the base coating on this one. So I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna grab some more silver. I'm gonna get it put down. Y'all, I don't know if anybody out here has tried to paint with metallics, but it is some hard paint. If you want it to act like, you know, any regular paint that you might use, metallics are just kind of hard to work with in the sense that they always have brush strokes. They don't thin out and smooth out very well like a lot of other paints that we do use. Like for instance, we always use exterior latex house paint, and I can get that paint to spread out, thin out, you know, look even, have a good coat on it. But when it comes to metallics, those aren't as easy as a lot of other paints. So I have these brush strokes. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I have these brush strokes here when I'm using a metallic. So I'm switching, I'm getting that chip brush. The chip brush is completely dry. I did not put paint in the chip brush. I'm just taking that brush and just simply coming on top and just dabbing across that paint. Notice I'm having to do this while it's wet. If I were to let that dry and try to do this, obviously you're gonna have all those brush strokes drying on there. Now look at the difference that makes. It gives you a textured look, and it really looks more like galvanized metal, which is exactly what I'm going for. So I'm gonna just continue doing this. Just setting that paint down. The whole reason I only did one coat of white is because I know that I'm gonna make a mess right here and all of my in-betweens. In fact, if you're looking at the rest of my piece, I already do have pretty much a mess all over it. And I'm going to come back in after I finish this silver and get some white put back in there. I'm gonna use a script liner and kind of do that second coat of white in between everything. Because if I were to already have that second coat of white on there, I would have to touch it up anyways. Hey Debbie, how are you, babe? Debbie, we are just doing a galvanized metal look on this windmill. Instead of using regular gray like I did in my sample, I thought, man, let's jazz this up a little bit. So I'm using that the silver, metallic silver that I got at Hobby Lobby, which I know Amazon also sells this. But if you've used any metallics before, they have swipes, they have strokes. It kind of looks almost stringy. Can you see what that looks like? So what I'm doing is I basically am laying that down with the mop brush. I'm grabbing a chip brush that was completely dry when I started. I did not put any paint on this chip brush. All I'm using this chip brush for is to really just dab out those strokes, and it kind of creates a little texture in here as well. So as soon as I get some of that paint down and I have my area kind of ready to go, that's when I go and grab my chip brush. So we went from having all of those strokes to almost looking textured. Now these are dry over here and might be hard to see in this lighting, but it almost looks like galvanized metal. And I loved the galvanized metal look as opposed to just plain gray. So we're just gonna finish out the rest of this silver and continue with using our same kind of technique that I'm showing you. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I start to feel like, man, I paint all the time, right? I paint every day. I'm always working on projects. But sometimes I get tired of doing the same kind of techniques over and over, and I just wanted to do something a little different. And so a couple days ago, I just had the thought, man, let's do some silver. So that's when I base coated a couple of these over here, and I really, really liked it. So I ended up stopping, and I didn't finish it out because I wanted to go live and be able to show you guys how I achieved this look. So right now, all I'm doing, y'all, is just getting that paint down on my board, just like I'm base coating. Just base coating it with that Cotman mop brush, getting on my sides, because y'all know me, I like to have my sides. I've got all those strokes here. I'm gonna show it up to you guys up close. I know some of y'all just came in. It's got all those strokes, streaks. You could see everything in there. It doesn't look all that great right now. Take a regular chip brush and just dab straight up and down. I'm not using pressure. I'm not swiping or pulling that brush. I'm just going up and down very gently and coming over top all that paint I just put down. I want all of it to look like this, to look textured, to be able to look like real galvanized metal. So I use this chip brush when that paint is wet. That's very, very important. You have to do it when it's wet. Hey Mom, how are you? All right, let's get a little bit more. And we're gonna just continue doing that same thing. Just kind of base coating it just like you would with any other paint color. Though I really love the end result of metallics, they're not the funnest kind of paint to work with. They are very finicky and difficult. Just getting that color on here. Again, you see all those strokes. Again, it looks kind of funky. Switch to your chip brush, dab right up and down. Y'all, chip brush doesn't matter whether it's old or new or big or small. It doesn't matter. You could use any chip brush that you have. This one just happens to be a 1.5 inch, but I've used a 2 inch. You could use a 1 inch. It does not matter. All that matters is that you're really just creating this texture while your paint is wet. Now looky there at that texture that you're really getting off of that. I don't know if because of lighting if you guys can see, but these 4 right here are dry. And so it really does make it look like metal. Hey Cheryl, hey Mary Kay, I'm just showing you guys, I used this Deco Art, Americana Decor. It is a silver, a metallic silver color. And I wanted to do the windmill to look like real metal. And this is how I'm achieving that look, is with that silver. And then as I put it on, and when it's wet, I'm using a chip brush to kind of create that textured look. So all I have left is just one little kind of semicircle here. So I'm gonna grab that paint using that mop brush, and I'm really just getting the paint down. It doesn't have to be pretty, because remember, you're gonna come right back over top with a mop brush. Getting some of that down, getting it down. Oh, this is so cute, I love it. All right, while it's wet, again, using that same chip brush I've been using, all I'm doing is dabbing up and down, right over top of that paint. Y'all, I know I'm making a mess everywhere on all this white. I'm totally making a mess. I know that. I have to come in and touch up all that white. And that's okay with me, because I really like the end result of what this actually looks like, what that silver is doing, and how it looks like metal. I just think that's so pretty. So here's the look at your silver, okay? If you're wanting to use a silver metallic, I just used the Americana Decor. I put it on with the mop brush, and I simply dabbed up and down with a chip brush. I want to show you the difference between this one, which yes, we will finish painting this. I just wanted to do part one where you guys could see how I was getting this metal look. Here is that sample. This is just regular gray, okay? So if you don't have the metallic, or maybe you don't like the metallic look, this is just regular gray. You could do it just like we've always done. But the difference between that metallic silver and a regular gray, to me, it just makes such a big difference. This one looks like our normal paint style, and this one almost looks more realistic, more like metal. How pretty is that? Let me bring it up close. I want you guys to kind of see what that looks like. The reason I'm using that chip brush, guys, yes, I wanted it to look like galvanized metal, but I really am using that chip brush because metallics don't smooth out very well. And so just to get the brush strokes to look good, I had to use that chip brush on top. But how pretty is that? I love it, I love it, I love it. Now, I am going to try to get back on live this afternoon and finish this guy out. Right now it needs, I'm gonna have to let this silver dry, and I'm gonna come back in with some white right here and then in between all of my slats, because it did get really dirty with my chip brush. That's okay. That's the whole reason I only did one coat, because I knew I was gonna have to come back and do another coat. Debbie says, I love the metallic. Thank you, Debbie. Mary, I love this look. Thank you. Y'all, I really like it too. I don't have a finished sample of doing with the silver. We're gonna do that together. I don't know if I'm going to add shading on here. I really haven't figured all that out. We're gonna figure that out when I go live this afternoon and when we finish this piece. So after I get off here, I'm just gonna get another coat of white in between, and then I will hop back on this afternoon and we will finish up our silver metallic galvanized metal look windmill. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Anybody that missed it, just check back. You can rewatch it. It's gonna be quick, easy, and it'll show you how you can use silver to achieve a galvanized metal look. Let's see, Sherry says, I love this. Thank you, Sherry. I'm so glad you were able to hop on and hang out for a few. All right, y'all, I will see everybody this afternoon. Y'all enjoy your day. I will try to come back on around 2 or 3, and we will see you then. Bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. It is Ashley Fields with Yard Art or Us. We are gonna do our part 2 of our Welcome Windmill. I did go live earlier today, I guess it was this morning, and I showed you guys how to create the kind of galvanized metal look with Americana Decor Outdoor Living. It's Deco Art Silver, okay? So if you guys did not catch the tutorial using the silver to kind of create that galvanized metal look, there's like a 15-minute tutorial that I did this morning showing you guys how to do that. So those of you that were here this morning, all I did after I got done with that live was just get another coat of white on here, because I did kind of get that white a little bit messed up, kind of got a little dirty, I guess you would say, whenever we were putting on that silver. Hey, Paula, Debbie, how is everybody? Patricia, thank you guys for coming to hang out. Y'all, before I hit the live button, I did go ahead and get this taped off so we could get the plaid going, just to kind of cut down on some of the time that we're here. This was my sample that I did. I'm keeping the color scheme the same at the bottom. The only thing I've changed so far is I used gray on my sample, and then we switched to silver. Now that this is dry, let me show you guys kind of up close what that silver is looking like, how we kind of gave it some of that texture on there. And I think it looks more realistic, more like metal doing it this way. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia says, love that. Hey, Debbie, Bissonette, good to see you. Karen, so glad y'all are here. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, y'all, let's get started. Whoops, sorry. We're gonna get started down here at the bottom. I have teal as my background. And so what I did is, this is a mixture of teal with a little bit of black. I call it shading teal. It is hand mixed by me. If you have some teal at home and you're wanting to kind of create the same look, just take a little bit of that teal and add some black to it, and that will give you that, that darker kind of color. I'm sure from up there this probably looks really gray, but this is going to come out looking like this plaid does right here. That's the same color that I'm using right now. So just teal mixed with some black. All right, I'm getting out a baby wipe, y'all. These are just Pampers baby wipes. I got them on Amazon. Nothing special. You could really use any kind of baby wipe. I'm just kind of taking it and folding it up together and just kind of getting like a little baby wipe pad for me. The reason I like to use baby wipes with plaid is because, number one, they dry very, very quickly. And number two, it gives you a really beautiful kind of see-through type plaid. I definitely like a see-through plaid. That way, when my lines cross over, when I have those perpendicular lines in the plaid, right where they cross over, it looks a lot darker. I just personally like it like this. I don't like my plaid to be so dark that you really can't see it being plaid whenever it crosses those lines together. You guys will see what I mean by that after we get this done. So I'm just kind of really just applying a very small amount of paint, like a little drop, and just pulling it down. Notice I'm coming up here on this tape. That's the whole reason I put that tape down, is really just to protect the colors that I already have underneath. So, okay, they all look pretty similar. That's kind of why I really like using this baby wipe, is it makes it a little bit easier to keep consistency going. Hey everybody, so glad y'all are here. Debbie says, great technique. Thank you, Debbie. All right, so I'm gonna save this baby wipe. We're gonna keep using it. But let's lift up our tape. I'm still gonna leave this one down. That one's kind of like a junk piece, right? The only purpose that this is serving is really just to keep everything above your teal sign nice, crisp, and clean. So I'm taking these off. Some people reuse their tape. I personally don't. I just throw it in the trash. I don't feel the need to reuse it. It's, you know, it's painter's tape. All right, chunk that in the trash. I'm just gonna hit it with the blow dryer for just a second. Because you're using a baby wipe, this paint dries very quickly. I'm really only trying to kind of just get it dry where these letters are for my words. Some of those etched parts, the etching will kind of catch some of that paint in there. All right, so those tape lines I had down before, all I did was I started with one piece here, and then I put a trash piece down and put another piece and just kept going. So it's gonna be the same kind of concept on our horizontal stripes. So this piece is really just a gauge as far as how far apart these lines are, right? I just want them to be even. I want everything to look even. So I got that piece of tape down, making sure to push down all those edges. Pick up my trash piece, if I can get it up, and I'm going to use that trash piece again. Again, this is just to ensure that I have the correct spacing. It's really the only purpose of that. Bringing that next piece of tape down, set it down, line it up with that trash piece, and take it all the way across. Again, push down, push down, push down. Take that trash piece back up, and voila, ready for our baby wipe again. So now again, taking just a little bit of paint. Those of you that just came on, I have a teal background. This color that I'm using is just teal mixed with black. It looks kind of gray, but it does have like a blue kind of undertone, a teal undertone to it. So I'm pulling that color all the way across. Whenever I get done doing a swipe with my plaid, I go all the way from edge to edge because I don't want to see any parts inside of this line where I started and stopped. I want it to be fluid. So same thing, just a little bit of paint. I kind of start picking it up with that baby wipe, getting everything covered. You are gonna wanna do this quickly. Y'all, I've done it sometimes where I'm moving too slow, and by too slow, I mean like a minute. And it'll start drying on you, and it just won't look as crisp and clean. All right, everything looks good. I went from edge to edge. That's one fluid line all the way across. Lift up our tape. Now, this is why I like the baby wipes, because notice where your lines meet, everywhere that they cross over, those squares are just a little bit darker. That's why I like the baby wipe. I like achieving a plaid that's still a little bit see-through, but all of those squares where they cross, it just looks a little bit darker. To me, it just adds a little bit more depth to my piece. Again, you could always reuse the tape. Me personally, I just chunk it. I don't really need it. Hey Tony, how are you doing, babe? All right, y'all. Now, I have not tried to shade with the silver yet, so we are actually going to attempt it, and if I don't like it, I've got some baby wipes handy. I'm gonna wipe it back off if we don't like it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of that silver that I used already, and I'm gonna get some put in a little cup here. Because I have a metallic undertone, I wanna be careful to not use just a regular gray or any regular color on top, because I just don't personally think that it's gonna look very good. So I'm gonna use the metallic silver that I used as my base to try to create a shading color. So I just really got a little bit in there. I didn't, I'm sitting here going, maybe that's not enough. Let me get one more scoop. I got 2 scoops with the spoon. I'm gonna do one more. And again, I've never tried this with the silver. I don't know if it's gonna look good or not. We're gonna just kind of find that out together. All right, I got that silver, and I'm just gonna we're just gonna start with 1 drop. Or maybe that ended up being just maybe a couple drops of black. We're just gonna mix that in and let's see what it turns out to look like. Who knows if we'll like it? I really don't know. Right now, it's just kind of becoming a deeper silver. I kind of like that. I don't think, looking at it on top of here, I don't think it's dark enough. I'm gonna add a little bit more black. And let's see if we can get kind of a shading color on here that'll create that shadow effect. It's gonna really look good. I'm liking this with the black added into it, y'all. I don't know, still trying to decide. I'm really looking at this asking myself, is that dark enough? I'm not 100% sure if that is dark enough. Let me just try just a little bit more. Y'all bear with me. Like I said, I've not actually tried to mix this together and tried to do this before, so who knows if we'll like it. We'll see. All right, I think I like this color. I'm gonna just add a couple of drops of water, because when I shade, it just makes it easier for me to have more fluid brush strokes. Now, something that is probably gonna be a little bit harder when it comes to the metallic is this metallic, any metallic colors that I've had experience with, they're very stringy. And so it might be hard to get more fluid strokes, but that's kind of I always have trouble finding that camera angle. But that's really just silver mixed with a couple of drops of black. A little more black, Debbie, you think so? We can always try a little bit more. There ain't no harm in trying, y'all. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is becoming, it still has that silver tone to it, but just like a deeper silver, and I think it's actually really, really pretty. All right, let's see if we actually like it. All right, I'm gonna grab a shader. I got a number 12, and I'm gonna say this one's probably a 14. I think that 14's too wide. We'll try this 12. And again, I'm keeping a baby wipe handy in case if we don't like it. If you wipe it off really fast while it's still wet, typically you can get it all the way off. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie says I like that. Hi, Amanda. How are you? All right, I'm gonna take this number 12 shader. I call it a shader. It's really a flat brush. And I'm just gonna kind of load up that corner. And let's just see. Oh, y'all. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay. I think we found it. We like it. I was curious if by adding that black, if it would still have that metallic tone to it, and it does. I know from probably on this camera angle, it might not be the best, but it is a very, very pretty, like almost like a deep silver color. Hey Mom, how are you? All right, so now we're just kind of gonna follow that traditional shading strokes that we always do. Just kind of loading that paint and bringing it on down. That line went a little off. And then right here on these little pieces, your joiners, I'm just gonna just stick with one side, just like the top. Just a little bit. And then continue on with the same strategy. I am loving this color that we mixed. Absolutely loving it. Kind of came over top that line a little bit. That's okay. Now, when it comes to metallics, y'all, they are not the easiest thing to work with. So some of these strokes are kind of starting to look a little bit funky the more it's sitting. And that's okay. It just might be one of those things we play with a little bit more than we're used to. I really think that the end result of this will be well worth spending a little extra time on it to get that metallic to look the way you want it. I'm gonna have to make sure and get some really good photos after this is done with some good lighting because I don't think that the camera or this video is really doing justice of how these colors are really popping. They're so pretty. Hey Deborah, how are you doing, babe? Hey Cheryl, Patricia, I'm so glad you guys are here. Thanks for hanging out. We are just using a little bit of silver today on our windmill, trying to get it to look a little bit more realistic. Definitely wanting it to look more like metal. And so we're using a metallic silver as our base. And then this color that I'm using on shading is that metallic silver mixed with, I think we ended up doing about 5 drops of black paint. And it is given such a beautiful metallic shading tone to this light silver background. Very, very pretty. You'll also, because this is a metallic, this metallic paints are just, they're a little different. They're different than, you know, the regular paint that we use. I definitely am not using any pressure. I'm really just kind of gliding that brush over top because if you use too much pressure with metallics, it's almost like the, how do I explain this? Like the strokes will almost pull that paint away from what you're trying to do. It's kind of hard to explain, but metallics are not, they're not the easiest thing to work with. So if you're working with them, do not use pressure. It will be a lot easier on you to just do very light, gentle strokes. Oh, now that is really pretty. Let me see if I can bring it up close. Again, camera's not doing the best job in the lighting in here, but that metallic silver as your base with that silver and black mixed together. It really does look like metal. I'm gonna have to really get some good pictures for y'all because seriously, this camera angle is not doing it any justice. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I think I could honestly use this on some other pieces. So I'm gonna put this aside and get a cap on it. And I'm gonna hit this with a blow dryer right quick for just a sec. Oh, I think I got some, I wiped some silver down here. Let me see if I can get it off. Oh, yes, it came off. That's the thing I love about baby wipes, y'all. Even sometimes after it's dry, not always, but sometimes, the baby wipe will still clean it off. And baby wipes will get paint off your skin a lot easier too. Okay, let me hit it with the blow dryer and just try to get it to dry while we're gonna work down here for just a little bit. Yes, Debbie says sparkle, I love. Yeah, and this is one that you, obviously, we're not even gonna put glitter on it, but it does sparkle. It's that metallic. All right, it's not all the way dry, but that's okay. Right now, I wanna go ahead and we're gonna switch and we're gonna work on these welcome words. Because I have a darker background, I'm going with a lighter word choice. If you have a light background, then you can go with a darker word choice. It really just kind of depends on the look that you're going for, but that's how I kind of gauge what colors I'm gonna use. It's either I have a dark background and a light color, or I have a light words, excuse me. Or I have dark words and a light background. Really can go whatever way you want it to go. All right, so this is just sky blue. I'm gonna get my script liner. This does have a little water added to it. I'll probably end up having to add more. I really like sky and teal together. I just think they're great complements. Mary says, hey Ash, you need a Christmas design that says silver bells and use this painting technique on it. Oh, I like that idea. Thank you. Deborah says, could use it when you try to paint like the milk can look. Yes, Deborah, this would look really good on something like that. And Debbie Bissonette says, this does look really good. Thank you. I'm so glad y'all are liking it. I thought it turned out good. I really was curious. I know I told you guys this morning that we're on the live. I'm like, I don't know how the shading's gonna look on it. We might like it, we might not. But I haven't attempted to shade with a silver before. I have done it with gold, so I had a feeling it would probably be okay. Because one of our Christmas patterns that we're doing, it's one of the, it's a nativity. I know I've shown it, but it might have been seen in Yard Art Academy. I can't remember where I showed it. But it is a nativity with a gold star. And I use the same technique that I did with the silver, just with gold. And then I did do that outlining with the gold, and it honestly looked really good. Now with gold, if you're using gold and you're trying to do shading on it, I actually mixed nutmeg as opposed to black while using the gold for a gold shade, and it was really pretty together. Christmas bows and packages, yes. Thank you, Pam. Pam says, love it. I just love getting to hang out with you ladies. I love y'all's ideas and giving some input. It makes it so much easier for us when we are trying to figure out what we're gonna be doing for future projects. Which I think all the Christmas in July, because those of you that weren't around last year, we start Christmas in July. I believe we already have all of our patterns picked out for July. Now that's not to say if something really cute doesn't come along between now and Christmas that we won't add it, because there's always that possibility. But we've got lots of cute and fun designs coming. Y'all, we also have Sneak Peek Monday night at 7 p.m. I hope you guys can join me. We will be showing you guys all of the stuff that we are working on for June. We've got some cute, fun, interchangeable pieces coming up that I think you guys will really enjoy. All right, y'all, I am using this. This is just a royal gold script liner. It is a number 4. It is the same script liner I use to outline and highlight. I use the same one when I'm doing words as well. I really just kind of almost set that brush down in that crevice. I don't know if you guys can notice, but I have a lot of paint loaded in this brush. And notice I still go back and I load it more and more and more. That's because I'm not bearing down any pressure. As soon as I start to run out or I'm needing to use pressure to get that paint out of that brush, I just go back and load it again. I find it easier to do words with no pressure and just kind of lightly glide. Also, as I'm doing these words, I'm noticing I'm coming outside of these lines, and that happens. All I do is just take that brush and kind of smooth it out and make it almost look like the line is supposed to be that way. I don't try to be perfect with it. I kind of lay that brush down at that line, and if I go over top, no worries. If I'm a little bit under, no worries. It really just doesn't bother me. As long as my strokes look fluid, I don't care if I go outside of that line. That don't bother me. There we go. Touch up. There is your welcome words. I'm going to clean this brush back out, and we are going to reuse the same brush. Let's see, Mary says, I'm going to use this on some Christmas packages on the ceramic truck that I'm painting right now. Oh, great idea. Trying to get ready for Christmas paint parties. And the new 3D bird feeder coming out. Yes. Y'all, these metallics are fun. Yes, they are. They can cause a little headache working with them if you've never worked with them before, until you kind of get used to it, because it's very stringy. The paint is definitely stringy. But once you start to work with it and you kind of get a hang of it, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. All right, this is pretty dry, so I think we're good. We're going to go ahead and move into outline. So I am getting my black, which I ended up using all of the black in here, so I'm going to have to refill. So really, I only go to about halfway because I do typically add quite a bit of water into here. I don't want that spilling over. Basically, I add water until it gets to the consistency that I like it. Everybody is different. Different people like different things. For me, from my experience, it is easier to outline when my paint is watered down. And I also have a very specific consistency that I like. Y'all, I paint for a living, so I can honestly mess with the paint and sit here and do this with my brush and see if it's gonna be where I like it, and it is. It's basically dripping. It's probably hard to see because it's black, but it is dripping. And that's the consistency that I like when I go to outline. Hi Pam, how are you doing, babe? All right, so basically when we're outlining, I'm still using that same script liner, and I am just gonna follow along these lines. Nothing too crazy. I'm also not using much pressure. Just very light strokes. And then from there, I basically am just gonna follow your CNC lines and profile lines. And just keep it easy, keep it simple. That's a little bit off. Y'all, these lines are not, they are not very lined up with the edge here, so some of my strokes are not all that straight, but that's okay. It's hand painted, who cares? I don't know about y'all, but I've never seen any painter that does anything hand painted that everything is perfect. There is supposed to be that, the handmade factor behind it. So don't be hard on yourself if, you know, your lines aren't perfect. We're just gonna keep on following around and following them lines. Whenever you guys are seeing me go back over top of the same line, that either means that I don't have the same thickness of that line all the way across, or it could also mean that there's these little lines that are etched into the piece. They might not have the paint all the way down in that etching. So when I go back over top of it, I'm just kind of trying to smooth it out and make it all look consistent. Some days I'm just like really on it and I can do things in one swipe, and other days, like today, not so much. I'm kind of going over that same swipe every time. And that is totally fine. Y'all, it just dawned on me that you could even take that shading silver that we mixed up and add more black to it and outline it with that color as opposed to using straight black. I wish I would have thought about that before getting almost done with the black, but you know, we live and learn. But those of you that are gonna try out this pattern and try out this technique, I'd say give it a go on your outline with that shading silver and add some more black to it. I'd say probably double the amount of black in it and outline it with that. And that way it's all has a metallic look. I think that would look really, really pretty. I don't know about you guys, but we are ready for summer around here. My daughter's last day of school is tomorrow, and we got invited to an awards ceremony for her this morning. And they had an award ceremony just for those kids that were eligible for all year awards, meaning every 9 weeks they receive that award, whether it's honor roll or citizenship. And so we got an invite to go to her awards, to my daughter's award ceremony earlier. And she got an all year honor roll award and an all year citizenship award. And as I was sitting in there, y'all, I just kept tearing up. Like such a proud mama bear. I don't know why it is, but at the end of the year, I always get almost like a little just nostalgic about my daughter growing up and just, you know, becoming a young lady and getting closer and closer to adulthood. All the feels, y'all, all the feels. But yeah, so her summer break starts tomorrow, and we are all just really excited to get that going. I'm excited to get to swim and just have extra family time. I don't know about you guys, but we really, really look forward to trying to swim every weekend. It doesn't always happen, but it kind of becomes our goal as a family. Y'all, as that paint's running out on my brush, I just am coming back and grabbing a little bit more. Now, my line is not very straight right now. So I'm really just trying to straighten it out here. There we go. We getting there. All right. I am not going to outline this bottom with black. I'm going to just leave it. Now we're gonna get a little bit of white. And I am curious, we might just try to mix this up right quick. I'm curious what the white would look like with just a tad, a little bit of silver mixed in. I wanna see what that would look like and see if we would use that as a highlight. Who knows? It just came to my mind to try it out. It might be terrible. We don't know. But we're gonna find out. I'm just getting like a little spoonful of that silver. And let me get some white. Shake this up because y'all, half the time when I grab these bottles and I go to squirt it out, it's separated. So I'm taking silver and I've taken some white. I would say it's probably 50-50 right now. I just want to see what this is going to look like. See, it's really turning white. I liked that silver and black together because it was more of a metallic. But this doesn't really have a metallic tone to it. I'm gonna keep mixing. We'll see if it turns out. But at the moment, I'm just going, maybe stick with white. Yeah, it almost looks like a grayish white. So I'm gonna skip on that one. I think I'm gonna stick with just regular white. Debbie says, if I tried to go all the way across, it would look like a zigzag. I know, Debbie. Look at my line though. That is not a straight line. I struggle with straight lines myself. And especially the longer the line, the harder the struggle is for me. So I get it, girl. Something you could try too, Debbie, on long lines, you could take a piece of painter's tape and put it from corner to corner and have that, it'll have a nice crisp line. You could really put a piece of painter's tape on here and at the top. And then do your painting, and that would ensure that it stays nice and straight. All right, we got that. We're just gonna stick with white on here. My words are gonna need white. It is kind of drying fast. We'll see. Let's see if it'll work out. So anytime I'm adding some white onto my words, I choose to really stick with one side. So like in this case, I'm on the left side. And so every letter that I'm kind of adding a little drop shadow to, I'm just sticking with that left side. That's really the only rhyme or reason that I have about when I'm working on this. Just a little on the left. And typically I honestly usually do the right side quite often, but that's okay. I don't think it really matters. I think the consistency of staying on the same side every time is what is going to give you the best turnout. This side right here. Oh, this is just so cute, y'all. I just love this guy. And y'all, when I'm adding this, I'm like barely using any pressure. I'm almost barely pushing down. And I'm really just using my wrist to pull. I'm not trying to, you know, get too crazy or too perfect with it. I'm gonna add just a touch right here. I'm gonna leave the words. I think they look good. Alrighty, I'm just gonna add just a couple little highlights in here. I guess I picked up some teal or some sky blue on that because that definitely had some blue tones to it. And I'm just gonna kind of turn it and add just a few light wispy strokes. Debbie says, I'd like to see that in person. Yes, honey, this one's a cute one. I'm telling y'all, this lighting is not doing any justice for this silver color, and it's just so pretty. So pretty. Y'all, I'm just trying to kind of remain consistent. So those white highlights, I don't even know, y'all can barely see them. I kind of just stuck on one side. I stuck on the right side of each, what do you even call it? I'm calling them like panels, but they're not panels. I can't think of what they're called. Each spoke, I don't know. I need to look up what the correct terminology is here. But that is it for this Welcome Windmill. I'm gonna show you guys up close. Let me actually, let me take my phone down and see if I can do it with this. So here we are up close. What do you guys think? I know it's a really close view. Yes, it is so pretty. I love it, I love it, I love it. This pattern, I think we have it for $18 if I am not mistaken. I started with one coat of white before our part 1 video, and then from there, let me get you guys back on the mount. From there, sorry about that, guys. I came in and I added silver. This silver I got off, or I actually got this from Hobby Lobby, but you can get it at Amazon. But I found it at Hobby Lobby for $7.99, and it is silver. It is also indoor or exterior and interior, so you could use it for both. So I came on and I just used a mop brush to lay that silver down, and then I used a chip brush to create that textured look that makes it look like galvanized metal. After that, I came back in and I just put some touch-up white in between everywhere. Down here at the bottom, I have teal was my base color. The plaid was done with a mixture of teal and black. My words are done in sky blue. And then I obviously just used black for outline and white for highlights. So let's see, PM says, love the silver, Debbie, love it. Blades, Cheryl, thank you. See, I couldn't think, y'all, sometimes I just struggle to come up with the right words. Blades, I wish I would have, I wish somebody would have reminded me of that earlier. Mary says, love it. Deborah says, looks great, thank you, Deborah. Mary just posted a comment that has a link to purchase it. If you are interested, there is that link right there. I just pinned it for you guys. So yeah, I will get this sample. I'll try to get it to the store this weekend, and we'll keep it at the store. It'll probably be inside the paint room there. So next time you're at the store, if you want to take a look at it in person, just ask who's ever working if you can take a look at it, and they'll be more than happy to let you come in and check it all out. We do keep our samples there at the store in the art room. We try to keep at least one of each there. That way you always can have it. But yes, that silver, oh, it's so pretty. I will add some pictures into the comments. I'm hoping the pictures will come out well, but honestly, this might be one of those pieces that it just looks so much better in person. But that is all I have for everybody today. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I will see you guys Monday night, 7 p.m. for our June sneak peek. Add me to your calendar. Y'all come hang out and come see painted samples of everything that we are going to be doing for June. So everybody, y'all have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will see y'all on Monday. Bye, everybody.